Hello, Meade County. Thank you for joining us here at the Meade County Messenger tonight for live election coverage. The polls have closed. We hope you all got your vote in. And as those scores are being tabulated, we're going to bring you some interviews with some of the candidates that ran unopposed this year. And we'll be getting those live results to you momentarily as they come in. We're here with Meade County Clerk Judy Jordan. Thank you for joining us today, Judy.
Thank you for having me.
It's election day. The votes are being tallied up. It's the end to a long season for you,
Yes,
isn't it?
yes.
You decided not to run for re-election, and you're going to retire at the end of this
I
year.
am retiring the end of the year.
And do you have any big plans?
We hope to travel a little bit, but other than that,
Take care of the grandbabies?
take care of the grandkids, yes.
How long have you been at the clerk's office?
I have been there 27 years.
And this is your 10th election
10th
as
election
clerk?
as clerk.
And it's changed a little bit over those years,
Yes, it
hasn't it?
has.
With electronics and everything else. When you all get done with the votes tonight, your all's night you'll still have work to do, won't
Yes,
you?
that's true. We'll probably be here until around 8:30, 9 o'clock. If we're lucky, we can get out then.
And then get home. Well, you know, anyone in Meade County has been in your office.
That's true.
You've got the one office that if you've got a house or a car, you've been in
You've
Judy
been in
Jordan.
our office, yes.
So kind of talk about what all you all take care of in that office.
We do voter registration. We do the elections, of course. We do vehicle registration. We record deeds, mortgages, liens. We issue marriage licenses. We have our hands in a lot. We get the tax rates from all the taxing districts so we can get our tax bills that we all get excited about.
That just came in the mail.
Yes. We have our hands in a lot of different areas.
And most importantly, the
Most
election.
important is the election.
Are you looking forward to this being your last
I
one?
am very much looking forward to this being the last one. That's how I've been counting down to retirement. Get me through one last election.
Well, and I guess it's worth noting that your last couple of elections have been upside down, rocky. Kind of talk about what that's been like.
I want to say first, here in Kentucky, we do elections right. But on the national scene, there's a lot of talk out there, and it doesn't apply to Kentucky at all, but it trickles down to us. We get backlash from it from people who don't really know. Like you said, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and these people don't really know everything that goes on and how we do it. Everyone's welcome to see everything that we do when we inspect our machines, when everything is open to the public, but no one comes to it. And they just hear all of this in the background from the national level.
It's easier to get on Facebook and just talk about it.
Exactly.
Well, and then, 2020 with the pandemic, I mean, that was a moving goalpost constantly, wasn't it?
Constantly. We didn't know from day to day what changes would be coming down.
From the primary to the general.
Yes.
So I'm sure you're really glad to have that behind you.
Yes, and then that created more changes in law earlier this year. So leading up to the primary this year, changes in law, how we do things. It's a constant change. This election, they couldn't change any more laws since the beginning of the year, so this election was good. No law changes.
So it's kind of back to normal for this go-round.
Yes.
And what's it meant to you working in the clerk's office over these years?
I have absolutely loved it. I love meeting the people. I'm going to miss the people most of all. I joke and say I might show up at the courthouse sometimes and just sit on the bench and greet some of the people as they come in. But just getting to know all of the people here, I love doing my job. When I was out front working as the clerk, I have loved every minute of it. The people here in Meade County are awesome, great people, welcomed this outsider into their lives.
Well, we're going to let you get back to it. We hope you get out early tonight.
Thank you.
And there's not too many silly write-ins on the bottom, Santa Clauses to slow you
Right.
down, or Easter bunnies. But once again, Judy, just thank you, and thank you to your team for everything you all do and making our elections so safe and so efficient. And we wish you the best in retirement.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
We're honored to sit down today with our next county attorney, Miss Sydney Durham. And Sydney, welcome to the set.
Thank you.
So you had the primary, but the general, you had no opposition. So
Yes. I'm a lot more relaxed today than I was in May.
I bet. Elections are stressful.
Yes, yes.
Well, you will be our next county attorney.
That's right, come January.
What kind of talk to us about maybe who you are and what your vision for that office is in the next 4 years.
So it's kind of funny, when I was running for my primary, people were like, all they do is talk about how nice Sydney is or how kind Sydney is. And I'm like, I guess if you're gonna get insulted for being nice, that's the best one you can get. But really, I think that we're public servants, and I think that we have a duty to our community. So I do come with kindness first, but that doesn't mean I don't have a backbone. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to stand up for what I think is right. But I think so many times we see our elected officials not giving respect to the people that voted for them. So of course, when I was out in the community, I just wanted to come forward with kindness. I don't get to do that all the time. And my staff, I'm so lucky. I'm going to have a veteran staff that have been there for some of them 20 years, and they come with kindness first. I just think that's my vision for the office, is just to be cordial to people, even when you disagree.
Well, this is your first jump into politics, correct?
That's right.
So what kind of led you to decide to do that this time?
Yeah, we were talking about running, and I was joking. My dad said, you need to keep your maiden name, so if you ever want to run, people know who you are and that you're from here. And I was like, I'm not keeping my maiden name. I'm keeping my middle name. I'm never going to run for anything. And then several years later, you figure out if you want to do the job, you've got to be in politics. You've got to run. And I was an assistant county attorney for 4 years. And then when Jessica decided that she wanted to retire, I was like, somebody's got to step up. And I was like, well, why not me? But I never wanted to be part of politics. But you know, it's not been as bad as I thought. People have mostly been receptive, mostly been respectful, because I feel like the news media just wants to polarize everyone 24/7, put us in these camps and say we have nothing in common. Well, what I've seen is when I've been on the campaign trail, that at the local level, that's just not as much the case, or it doesn't have to be the case.
Yes. Well, and that's the beautiful thing about our community. You know, everyone has their national ideas, but on the local level, just having people in there that love Meade County and want to do best by Meade County. And I think we're going to have that in our next county attorney. And, you know, we look forward to the work you have ahead of you. The county's growing, so I'm sure the fiscal court will be leaning on you for their advice as we continue to grow and move forward. And
it's a different community. Like my daughter, I adopted her, so she wasn't from here. And we were driving down the bypass the other day, and I was like, I remember when this was just Mr. Gaddy's. And then I remember my mom, when I was 5 years old, taking me to McDonald's. And of course, when Kroger was built, I was like, this is a different town than what we had when we were young. And I'm excited about the progress and the growing, but I want to see us still have that small town, give the shirt off your back kind of community too. And that's what's important to me. Let's keep our values where they are. Let's shake each other's hands and look each other in the eyes and all work together to make the community stay what it's been.
Absolutely. And that's always been the beauty of Meade County is
Yeah.
when we get down to it at the end of the day,
Yeah.
we're just one big family.
That's
from
right.
the lower end to the
That's
upper
right.
end. So we thank you for stopping in
Yeah.
today. We wish you the best luck
Thank
in
you.
the next 4 years, and take care.
Thank you.
All About Home Assisted Living is Brandenburg's premier assisted living facility. We believe that home is where the heart is, and our mission is to provide a safe, loving, and healthy environment that ensures a better quality of life for your loved ones. If it's a day, a week, or a long-term stay, we are here to help. Our loving team can provide diet monitoring, home-cooked meals, morning wake-up help, medication assistance, housekeeping, laundry service, and assistance with local errands. For your no-obligation, no-cost tour of our facility, call to 70422-CARE. Remember, home is where the heart is.
Hello, Meade County. Election day has arrived. The polls have closed. We're starting to get some numbers in. I think we've got Muldrow in so far. But before we get started, I have two special guests joining me tonight. Mr. Doug Cornett and Mr. Joe Hager. And I'll let them introduce themselves. Doug, thanks for joining us.
Well, Chad, appreciate the invite. It's going to be an interesting evening. Going to be a few people happy and a few sad, but tomorrow morning, sun will rise and we'll all be Meade Countyans, and hopefully all just work for the progress of Meade County.
Absolutely. Joe, thank you for joining us.
Very, very delighted to be here. I've been a faithful voter all of my life, as I mentioned to you a while ago. This is my 62nd year to vote, and I've never missed one.
Wow.
And I don't know how long I can keep that going, but it's a pretty good record up to this point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we'll jump into some of these first numbers we have coming in. Like I said, Muldrow is in. We're looking in the judge race. We've got Troy Koch at 222 votes, Leslie Stith at 109, and Sean Holzapple at 31. In the PVA race, we have Gabe Chapman at 238 and Rebecca Richardson at 121. In the clerk's race, we have Susan Masterson at 253, Kathy Arnold 103. In the sheriff's race, Philip Wimpy 207, Danny Cannell 155. In our magistrate's race, we've got 3 of them. We've got a race tonight. The other ones did not have any competition, or opponents. So in the magistrate first district, which is up at Muldrow area, Tom Goddard 260, Joseph Noon 98. In the third district, which is out Flaherty area, Billy Sipes. Oh, never mind. This is Muldrow's number, so we don't have any numbers for the other 2 districts yet. As far as Supreme Court Justice, we have Kelly Thompson Jr. at 0, Sean Alcott 88. Judge of Court Appeals, Jeff Taylor 160, David Clement 84. Mayor for Muldrow, we have Russell Cowens at 43, Anthony Lee at 89, and Corey Dressel at 64. So it looks like Anthony Lee will be our next mayor of Muldrow. In the city council race, we have Deborah Knoll at 76, Curtis Kelly at 104, Judy Iden at 65, Him Heverin 94, Carrie Likens 76, Sharon Hodges 76, Jerry Noel 63, Gary Scott 85, Jerry Snyder 59, and Samuel Iden at 0. And I'm not sure, do we know how many make that from their council. I think it's 6. So it looks like that'll be Curtis Kelly, Him Heverin, Gary Scott, Carrie Likens, Sharon Hodges, and Deborah Noel. Well, and I apologize for that. We do have Muldrow in, but Brandenburg at the Meade County High School, that is a universal site, and we don't have those numbers in, so there could be some more Muldrow votes out there. So I apologize. We do not know yet who the mayor or the council members will be. That's just from the numbers that took place in Muldrow. So I want to be real clear on that. I apologize for that. We will have to wait for Brandenburg's numbers to get in to have the totals there. But we'll continue on the amendments. Amendment 1, it looks like Muldrow went resoundingly no on that with a 136-0 vote. On Amendment 2, it was pretty close. We've got yes at 178 and no at 158. And then we go over into the U.S. Senate race, Rand Paul 259, Charles Booker 104. Second congressional representative, we've got Brett Guthrie at 266 and Hank Linderman at 90. So we're really still early. That's just Muldrow in out of all the precincts, and will this be the tale of the night and follow suit in the other precincts, or will we have some switch ups? It's way too early for us to tell, isn't it, guys?
Yes, it is.
Well, we know that different precincts have different makeups and interests are different. So in one precinct, you may have a majority for one person, and that person can't carry the other precinct because either they're not as well known or they're different interests, background interests.
Different demographics.
That's right. That cause a difference. So, as always, we have to wait till we get the whole county before we can make a final decision.
Absolutely. That's why we all vote, isn't it?
That's right.
But you make a good point there, Joe, and you've been doing this for a while. You worked the polls for how many years?
Well, not that many, but some since I got out of office. That's just one of those other little jobs that I kind of picked up and got an interest in. I don't know, I wear many hats.
So you've seen election night as a candidate, as a worker, and as a voter.
That's right. Yeah, I've run for 3 offices and was lucky enough to win 1. So I know how that feels. I know how winning feels. Then I ran for a big office, state senate, and was in 5 counties, and I got beat by a total of 600 votes in 5 counties.
Oh, wow.
Now you talk about disappointing. Now that was disappointing.
Well, especially when you throw that many counties together, that's a tight race.
Yes, it was. It was. But I ran against an incumbent, and that's just the way that works sometimes.
Another factor, Chad, on the outcome, some precincts are so much larger enrollment-wise than others. If they lean one way or the other, they can carry over the smaller precincts.
Yeah.
Like I guess Brandenburg will vote, 4 or 5 times what some of the others will.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Just doing a rough ballpark, it looks like Muldrow came in with somewhere around 350 to somewhere in the 350 to 380 without doing the numbers of votes. So we know we've got some precincts that are going to have a lot more votes. That's just a small fraction of, and this with Brandenburg being a universal voting place now, that's really going to carry a lot of weight. Brandenburg already had the population with a big voting precinct, but now I'm from Flaherty precinct, but I voted in Brandenburg today. So, and I saw a lot of people doing that. So that kind of adds a new twist to voting today that wasn't necessarily there pre-COVID.
I was almost overwhelmed when I walked into the high school this afternoon and saw the long line that was there. And working in the polls there, we'd never had that kind of backup before. But I was amazed in 45 minutes' time when I walked in the door, I was walking back out the door having voted. So no matter how hopeless it looked about whether I was going to get to vote or not, or whether I have to leave before I had to vote. But anyway, 45 minutes is not bad considering the number of people that were there. At this point, I would like to just give accolades to the staff that was working at the high school in the polling place. Thought they did a magnificent job, really moved people along.
Well, and you know, that's a good point to put out there, because Judy's got a great team up there and they're kind of overseeing everything, but it takes a whole lot of volunteers also, you know, at all these sites and in the different positions. And I was the same way. I walked into the high school and I kept walking down that hall and I thought, I'm going to end up at the vocational school before I get to the end of this. And I thought, sure, it'd take 2 hours to get through, but I was about 45 minutes too, which was longer than I was wanting to spend. But for the amount of people there, it's really remarkable how efficient they're running things. So our hats are off to everybody at all the precincts that work today. And you know, without those individuals, none of this can happen.
Right.
That's very true. Very, very true.
You know, one kind of threw me off in these amendments. I thought it would be interesting because I've heard a lot of people say they didn't they didn't think that it was explained well enough. And I know we tried to get some information out and different ones did, but that first amendment with coming in 136-0 up in Muldrow, they just resoundingly said no.
I'm really surprised at that too. I thought it would be close.
And then now it looks like we've got a few more numbers that have came in, and I guess we're putting in more precincts, so we're up to 182 now, yes, for Amendment 1, and then 136 against. It looks like the abortion one's close too. We've got 20 votes separating that right now at 178 for the amendment and 158 against it. And you know, I think it's not something. How many times, Joe? You said you voted 62 elections.
I voted for 62 years.
Or 62 years.
Yes,
I'm
right,
sorry.
Right.
It's not every day that you get to vote for a constitutional amendment, is it?
No, I can't recall voting for very many of those, and specifically, I can't recall what they may have been. I know it's kind of interesting. The first time I voted, I was in high school, and a friend of mine's father was running for a county judge down in Breckenridge County. His name was Raymond Butler, and if anybody knows that, that's a long way back. But anyway, he talked me into getting registered to vote, and I did vote for him. And of course, the first president I ever voted for was John F. Kennedy in 1960. He was sworn in 61. So seen a lot of voting things, and feel privileged to be able to have a say in all of them.
Well, you know, Doug, you brought this point up, and I'll let you hit on it a little bit more here on your own. We were talking about what a privilege this is as compared to the rest of the world.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, there's so many countries that don't even have an opportunity to vote, and sometimes you're a little dismayed by the number of what the turnout is when everyone has an opportunity. But I think we're going to be surprised this time. I think it's going to be high, and hopefully that's a trend for now and for the future. Everybody needs to be involved, and then when it's over, win, lose, or draw, you move on.
Absolutely. And you know, and that's the beauty of this country is we don't have sham elections like.
Right.
It's like we were talking about. Not everybody even gets that right, but a lot of them that do in some of these countries, it's a sham. We don't have sham elections, and also that win, lose, or draw, we all come together tomorrow, and especially here in Meade County, we're all one big family. just like family, we don't always see eye to eye, but at the end of the day, we come back out together.
And you know, politics is a funny thing. Joe and I, of course, Joe's a Democrat and I'm a Republican. We've been friends for 51 years. And politics has never interfered with our friendship. No. We read sister schools. When I first came here, he was principal of Battletown, and I was principal of Painville, and we did a lot of stuff together. Did a lot of things outside. Had a little painting crew. Yeah. We even went to see Elvis live once.
That's right.
No, where'd y'all go?
Fairgrounds.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Sure
Louisville.
In Louisville.
Yeah.
No.
So we've done a lot of things together, Joe and I have. Yeah.
Now, who does the better Elvis dancing impression?
I'd say that'd be Joe.
Is it Joe?
He's a little more limber than I am.
He's got the moves, huh?
Yeah.
We'll break here just for a minute. For those of you that are watching at home on our webpage at meadecountyky.com, you have the ability not just to see this live broadcast, but the graphs that we're looking at here that are live updating. You have the ability to see that on our webpage. But we will remind you that you need to refresh that page ever so often to get those numbers to refresh. That's just one of the quirks with the internet. So as they're coming into us, they will be going out on our webpage on those graphs, but you will need to refresh that page ever so often.
Getting your vehicle service can be intimidating, but since 2001, people have trusted their vehicles with Brandenburg Auto Clinic. And now, the same guys are providing major brand tires at very affordable pricing. Whether you need tires, tire service, or any type of vehicle repairs, come on into Brandenburg Auto Clinic and Tire. You will be glad you did.
All About Home Assisted Living is Brandenburg's premier assisted living facility. We believe that home is where the heart is, and our mission is to provide a safe, loving, and healthy environment that ensures a better quality of life for your loved ones. If it's a day, a week, or a long-term stay, we are here to help. Our loving team can provide diet monitoring, home-cooked meals, morning wake-up help, medication assistance, housekeeping, laundry service, and assistance with local errands. For your no-obligation, no-cost tour of our facility, call to 70422-CARE. Remember, home is where the heart is.
In today's real estate market, you need an experienced real estate company to guide you along the buying and selling process. Let Chisholm Realty be your trusted guide. Check out these listings that are for sale. 1900 Fairgrounds Road features 4 bedrooms and 2.5 baths, located on a large corner lot with a basement suite. Located in Hardin County, this home sits on 3 beautiful acres. Inside, you will find 4 bedrooms and 1.5 baths with a full unfinished walkout basement. Located on busy Kentucky 313 in Brandenburg, this commercial property has 4,900 square feet of warehouse and retail space. The 6 acres is well suited for future growth and development. Located in the heart of Brandenburg by the high school, this 5,000 square foot property has commercial potential. It was previously used as a church. The lot features 0.65 acres.
Greenleaf Emporium is your locally owned CBD shop offering a wide variety of products. Come visit our shop today for your free consultation to learn how CBD can improve your life. CBD has many healing properties that can help with chronic pain, regulate sleep, regulate your appetite, and many other medically proven uses. We even have CBD products for your furry friends. We now sell Delta 8, 9, and 10 products. All of our products are legal and require no prescription to purchase. Now with 2 locations to better serve you. Visit our location in Brandenburg at 365 Broadway Street near West Banco, or our Corden store located at 2133 Edsel Lane near the Corden Cinemas. Like us on Facebook.
Welcome back. We're still waiting on some results to come in. So earlier today, we were able to sit down with jailer J.J. Scarborough. He was in one of the uncontested races, so we had a luxury of speaking with him for a little bit today. So we're here with a special guest, jailer of Meade County, Mr. J.J. Scarborough, and we're just going to have a little talk with him. So first off, I'd like to welcome you down here, J.J.
Good morning, Chad. Thank you.
So today is election day, and a lot of the spots are sweating it as people are going to the polls, and you kind of got to take a little bit different route this go around, didn't you?
Yeah, I feel very, very fortunate. Didn't have anybody sign a friend against me, so I get to sit back and watch the results come in today with not as much pressure as most of the men and women out there have. So yeah, I feel very fortunate.
You've been there, done that, though, haven't you?
Oh yes, yes. It's you do a whole lot of work, all of it to come down in one day, and what 6 or 7 o'clock tonight, you're sitting around waiting for them results to come in. It's very, very nerve wracking.
Well, what term will this be for you? Part of that goes back to the job you've done up at the jail, and you brought in some unique programs that we've never had before. You brought some programs back, so maybe just kind of hit on some of those things that you've got the inmates doing that while they're there.
Okay. Of course, like I said, been there 8 years. We've come up with quite a few, like you said, unique programs. One of them being the Wood Shop. Wood Shop actually was a program we started about 6 years ago. It actually started on accident. We was actually building a bench for the courthouse. They asked us to build one. Inmates liked it, so it kind of took off from there. Now it's grown into quite the little jail industry. Right now, we're currently actually working on a 4,800 square foot addition, just for supply and demand, just to keep up just with the people in the county, just what they're ordering.
Wow.
So that's been a great program. Of course, I don't think there's no secret we have a drug problem in this county like we do others. So we're constantly trying to implement new drug programs into the jail. We come up with 4 different MRT programs. We have several NAA groups that come in the jail and teach those programs as well. So right now we're exploring a couple options to bring some more programs in. Hopefully that'll take over after the first of the year, but we're still waiting to see if the financial side of that's going to allow for that.
Well, you know what, the woodworking, it was an interesting program when y'all started that, and I'm sure there were plenty of logistics to work out with the tools and equipment y'all are using in there, but now that y'all have had that in place, what kind of impact are you seeing on individuals that are taking part in that program versus just sitting and waiting their time out?
Of course, the Wood Shop, it's kind of one of the programs. It's really the most sought out program by the inmates in the jail. Everybody knows that that's a good place to be. So first and foremost, you have to have good behavior. You have to meet the criteria to even be considered for that program. But the results that we're seeing whenever people get out of jail, some of the jobs that they're getting, whether they're in this county, another county, we house a lot of people from Kenton County and Campbell County. We still see and hear from these people whenever they leave our jail and go back home, whether they're working for a contractor, cabinet company. We have them working everywhere, so we continually get good feedback from inmates whenever they leave. So, like I said, the Wood Shop program, I wish it's something we could continue to grow, and hopefully other jails will adapt to it and start picking it up and having programs like that as well.
Well, that's great, and we appreciate the job you're doing up there. You're doing great things for the county and for the individuals that have to stop by and spend a little time with you. So we wish you luck in the next 4 years, and thank you for stopping by today.
Well, I appreciate it much. Thanks for having me, and I look forward to 4 more years.
We're here with soon-to-be mayor of Brandenburg, Mr. Brian Claycomb. He ran unopposed this year, and Brian, we'd just like to welcome you today.
Thank you, Chad. I'm glad to be here.
It is election day. And,
Yes.
you didn't have any opposition, so you can kind of sit back and watch a little more than some of them?
I've had in days past, I've had know what it's like to wonder if your best efforts were good enough, but today, the odds went up that I might make it when I was unopposed, so there you go.
Well, a lot of people know you. You've been active in the community for years. You've been on the Brandenburg City Council. Now you're going to step into the mayor's seat. Maybe just kind of talk to us about what your vision and plan is for the next 4 years.
Well, as you said, Chad, I've been on the city council since the summer of 2017. There was an opening and the council appointed me, and I will say that I've always had sort of a public service gene dating back to, I spent 24 years on the Meade County Fire Department, 16 years as chief. When I worked at the bank, I volunteered with Habitat for the better part of 20 years, and so my wife thought maybe I'd lost my good sense and judgment and wanted to be mayor, but she supports me in that. And when the current mayor decided he was not going to run for re-election, I thought, well, this is my community, and these are challenging times. They're scary times, but hidden within that are opportunities, and I thought this would be a way to serve. So, as far as my vision for Brandenburg, first and foremost, my vision is that we would be good stewards of the taxpayers' money. It's not our money. And I would hope that people would recognize that's what we're trying to do. Now, we have some pressing issues ahead of us. Just recently, we found out that our current garbage provider is terminating their service. That contract had been expired for several years, so if you ask about the things that are on my to-do list, water, sewer, and garbage are big things, and they're important to everybody, and we have some unique challenges as we transition to a new company. We have a new sewer plant that we're trying to get up and operated, and then of course we're having a water issue. We've having to, as a matter of fact, within the week we have a temporary treatment operation coming in. We don't have anything in our water that is a health hazard, but honestly, nobody likes brown water. Manganese is not a health hazard, so we're dealing with that. And so the first year is going to be filled with things, water, sewer, and garbage. But I'm blessed with being part of a really good team. I used to have people, they'd say, and they didn't mean anything negative, but they'd say it when I was at the bank. I worked there 30 years. They'd say, well, how long have you been running the bank? I'd say, well, let's understand one thing. I might be in charge, but I'm not running the bank. The people that are doing the job. So, you know, I'm coming on board with people like T.J. Hughes, that's our public works director, who just does a fantastic job, and Amy Haynes in the office, Brian Haig is our police chief, and others that just part of a good team. So I'm fortunate to have that foundation. I guess what I'm passionate about, if we want to get over into what would I like to see, downtown for me is a passion. We've had people like the mayor and Bill Corum and others that are passionate about downtown, and we are so lucky to have that river frontage, and I'd like to see us maximize all we can, and I'll be standing on the foundation of those people that have worked hard on it. So that's what I'm passionate about, but the reality of it is you got to make sure you have water, we can deal with your sewer, and somebody's going to pick your garbage up.
And that takes precedent. Well, we appreciate you coming down today and having a little talk, and we look forward to working with you over the next 4 years, and wish you best luck as you step out of the council seat and into the mayor's seat.
Right. Well, I need to have good communication, and that's one thing that I really want, Chad, is most everything that happens in government is better if the light of day shines on it. And I believe that, and I'll always tell you the truth, and I want the people to know that I'll tell them the truth. I may not tell them what they want to hear, but I'll tell them the truth. And at the end of the day, if you listen and you try to be fair, I really don't know how you can do any better than that, and that's what I hope so. So I'm looking forward to that, and the challenges / opportunity. It's a challenging time, but it's a scary time. And you know, I thought, Chad, too, I wish I knew people that had memories of the early 50s when we had this new Matheson chemical plant coming in, and the anxiety and the stress over that, certain we've got a lot going on, but buried in everything like that, with the new core and other things, are challenges and opportunities that we're just smart enough to recognize them. So the last thing I'll say is, I know now I'm going to make mistakes. If I make a mistake, I'm going to own it, and I'm going to try to learn from it. And other than that, I just want to do the best job I can for the citizens of Brandenburg, for a job that my wife says, "Are you crazy?" So that's my story, Chad.
Well, we wish you luck and thanks
Thank
for
you.
stopping by.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Tonight's election night live stream is brought to you by the Meade County Messenger, Chisholm Realty Company, all about home assisted living, 270 Rent Property Management, and Pat's Florist and Gifts. Thanks to these advertisers for making tonight's broadcast possible.
Well, we're back. We've got some numbers coming in. They're tabulating those up for us right now. I think we've got Ekron and Painville are coming in. And as soon as they get those to us, we'll run through those. But, you know, this is it's a big election locally, but it's also an election that a lot of people have eyes on nationally with the midterms and control of the Senate and the House. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out tonight.
It'll be a long night.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to stay up and watch it till the wee hours of the morning.
Take it all in.
Take it all in. Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of the time zone. So
That's right.
They'll be coming in all hours.
There'll probably be 2 or 3 major races that won't be decided for 2 or 3 days. Final count, I suppose. Pennsylvania and maybe Georgia.
Be another stretched out one for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, I don't. Some of those, one of those states, they said on the news this morning that wouldn't release the results until all votes were counted if it took up the 3 weeks
Wow.
for absentee ballots to be counted.
I think that's Pennsylvania, I believe,
Yeah.
Joe.
That makes it a little more complicated.
They've all got their own individual rules, and you know, that's one thing that me and Judy talked about too. You know, I think we just do elections right here in Kentucky. We don't have those problems, and
And you wonder, Chad, how some states can be so smooth in their operation and others just can't get it. Same ones every year, every time, every election.
it really is. And thankfully, you don't see that problem here.
Sure no.
And I know they've had a time up in the clerk's office because it's just been moving goalposts with COVID hit and rules kept changing, and then they started changing back. And I think the last I talked with Judy, we're kind of getting back to the new normal that, you know, everybody can understand where we're at, where we're going, and have great confidence with it. And that's one thing with Meade County, you know, that nothing but paper ballots. There's nothing you have to worry about. You hear some of this controversy in other states, but it's, you get your piece of paper, vote, and then put it in the machine. And it's,
I know she did emphasize that the machines that these paper ballots went into to be counted were in no way connected with the internet. They had no internet connection whatsoever. So it would be impossible to get anything or get into it and mess it up or get any information from it unless you followed proper procedures.
it's just got the plug-in in the back for power.
That's right. That's right. And I know we were very careful when I worked the polls. One of the things that I had to do was to put that machine away. And there are strict guidelines to go by in shutting it down and getting it ready to take to the clerk's office. And of course, they're not counted officially until they get over there.
Let's see if we've got any coming in here now.
Good Ekron.
Looks like we've got Ekron coming in. In the judges race with Ekron added in, it looks like Judge Leslie Stith is at 617 and Troy Koch is at 879. In the PVA race, we've Rebecca Richardson at 121, Gabe Chapman at 238. In the county clerk, we've got Susan Masterson at 253. I think that's still our numbers from just with Muldrow in. It looks like Rand Paul's jumped out to a big 1156 to 395 lead over Booker for right now. And looks like I've got out at Ekron, them in the U.S. race, we've got Brett Guthrie at 1185 and Hank Linderman at 340. And what do we have here? Looks like total that we're running right now with Ekron and Muldrow in the county clerk. We've got at 1054 for Masterson and Arnold at 495. We've got Sheriff Wimpy at 1124 with Cannell at 427. And then down in the magistrates, 6th District Magistrate, we've got Trey Webb right now at 223 and Randall Hardesty at 128. And then we already talked about the judges race. We've got Koch at 879, Stith at 617, and Holzapple at 50. Let's see here.
Okay.
Well, that's both the Ekron ones.
Greenleaf Emporium is your locally owned CBD shop offering a wide variety of products. Come visit our shop today for your free consultation to learn how CBD can improve your life. CBD has many healing properties that can help with chronic pain, regulate sleep, regulate your appetite, and many other medically proven uses. We even have CBD products for your furry friends. We now sell Delta 8, 9, and 10 products. All of our products are legal and require no prescription to purchase. Now with 2 locations to better serve you. Visit our location in Brandenburg at 365 Broadway Street near West Banco or our Cordon store located at 2133 Edsel Lane near the Cordon Center.
In today's real estate market, you need an experienced real estate company to guide you along the buying and selling process. Let Chisholm Realty be your trusted guide. Check out these listings that are for sale. 1900 Fairgrounds Road features 4 bedrooms and 2.5 baths, located on a large corner lot with a basement suite. Located in Hardin County, this home sits on 3 beautiful acres. Inside, you will find 4 bedrooms and 1.5 baths with a full unfinished walkout basement. Located on busy Kentucky 313 in Brandenburg, this commercial property has 4,900 square feet of warehouse and retail space. The 6 acres is well suited for future growth and development. Located in the heart of Brandenburg by the high school, this 5,000 square foot property has commercial potential. It was previously used as a church. The lot features 0.65 acres.
So we're back. We're still waiting for some more numbers to come in. We've got Ekron and Muldrow in. They're putting Painville in right now. So we're going to go through a few of the candidates that have already secured their position. They were unopposed. County Attorney, we have Miss Sydney Durham. that will be stepping into that office as Jessica Brown steps down from the position. She decided not to run again. Second District Magistrate Eli Dix went unopposed, so he will retain his seat. In the 4th District, Gary Chapman was unopposed in the general, so he will retain his seat. In the 5th District, we have Steve Wardrop. He also was unopposed in the general, so he will retain his seat. Then at jailer, J.J. Scarborough, he will retain his seat as jailer as he went unopposed in the primary and the general. 27th District State Rep, Nancy Tate, she will remain our representative. She was unopposed as well. County Coroner, Billy Adams, he's been doing that for a few years now, and he will retain that seat. And so we get into this. I was looking the amendments. We've got some more numbers on that now that we've got Akron in. It looks like on the First Amendment, that's pulled a little tighter with, actually, yeses went ahead with 809 for, 618 against. Then down on our Second Amendment, which is the dealing with abortion, the yeses are at 823. The noes are at 675. And switch back over here. So we still got a lot of votes still to come in. You know, it's kind of like we were talking about with that, what is it, the 6th District Magistrate. That's a big district, isn't it, Doug?
Yes, it is. Covers the whole end of the county, all the way up to Guston and my area. I'm in that district, even in Midway.
And down to the lower end, Painville, Wolf Creek.
I think it goes over to Concordia and the whole area.
And so that's, I know years ago I had a friend looking into getting into politics, and he's in that district. And once he realized he was going to be responsible for that kind of acreage, it kind of puts a difference on it when you take, you know, we'll take, I think Gary Chapman's district, which is in Brandenburg, you know, population-wise, it's got size, but, you know, you don't have as much acreage to cover. But you drive from Concordia to the other side of Guston, that's a pretty decent haul.
Yes, it is.
So we got some more numbers coming in on the amendments. First Amendment, we're up to 1271 for that, 1012 against. And that's the amendment on bringing the legislature being able to bring itself back into session once they end their session. Over on Amendment 2, we're running about 1322 that are yes for that and 1085 against. So that's starting to, what we up to, looks like about 2,300 votes there. So we're starting to get some numbers in, but I look forward to seeing what this final number is going to be on votes, because we've mentioned it a few times. This could, I'd like to know what the record is. I probably should have did a little research and written that down for tonight, but I think we're going to.
Of course, that issue is going to vary in different sections of the state on Amendment 2. You're going to see quite startling numbers come out of that, depending on where you are, as it goes across the state. So if we're tight here, then we can anticipate that it's going to be tight almost everywhere, but some places it will go to extremes.
Might be a little bit tighter here than than in a normal kid due to their Catholic congregation, and we're pretty conservative overall in Meade County. So,
well, I know we've received several calls because people, you know, they're just kind of confused on the call. Well, I took one the other day, and they wanted to know, is this going to have exceptions or not, you know, for incest or rape or a woman's health and stuff. And, you know, I think people have tried to do a job of explaining it, but I think as far as the general population, I don't think I don't think the majority that we would have liked to have seen of voters went in confidently understanding some of the language on that, and whether that's because they just didn't do the research or it wasn't explained well enough, that's hard to put a finger on. But
I think amendment number 1 was probably more confusing than number 2 for the general public. I don't know how many people I've heard comment they just couldn't understand it and just didn't know what the vote would mean.
Right.
Yes.
And in essence, what it's saying is that the legislature can vote or can just bring themselves into session anytime, any place they want to. And of course, I'm not for, I don't want to appear for or against, but in a case like that, the way the legislators are paid